Greetings everyone, and welcome to a brand new episode of All Things Lambda, the Half-Life community show that proves my MIT education really paid for itself. You know, pressing the record button and all. No camera footage this week. I have a pretty tight schedule again, so it'll be back next week though. Enough talk about education and school stuff because I'm going to educate you on something entirely different. Half-Life community news, of course. Let's get right into it.
LambdaGeneration.
Back in 2015, Philip Victor, a member of the Half-Life 2 modding community, released a free updated version of Half-Life 2 on the Steam store, cleverly called Half-Life 2 Update. This update improved the base game by fixing a couple of bugs, improving the lighting and shadows in all of the maps, and much more. YouTuber Glorious Rigby actually made a really nice video about this updated version of Half-Life 2, and he goes really in depth with it, explaining most of the changes made. Even though this YouTuber from another planet has seemingly disappeared from time and space, it's still worth checking this video out for more info on it. And hey, maybe he'll come back someday. Since Half-Life 2 Update released back in 2015, Philip Victor has been teasing users of the Steam Community Hub about a new version coming out with more improvements over the current version, and even that he's going to tackle the episodes at some point as well. Well, that time has seemingly come now. Very recently, it was made known through SteamDB that Half-Life 2 and its episodes are getting a full-blown remaster, but not by Valve, but by Philip Victor and his team. It does have Valve's blessing though, apparently, which must mean that the remaster is of pretty good quality. Right? It's also rumored to be running on the CSGO version of the source engine, which means that, hey, we'll be getting those nice cascading shadow maps in Half-Life 2 after all. Presumably, of course. We won't know for sure what this remaster will have in store until we see footage of it, but it's not too hard to imagine something like dynamic shadows to be included. They gotta top Half-Life 2 update somehow. When this remaster will come out is still unknown though, but since it already has a Steam repo and a lot of people are already talking about it, I'm pretty certain that we'll be hearing something about Half-Life 2 Remastered Collection soon. And if it's going to be anything like Half-Life 2 Update, but better, then I think we're in for a treat. A link to this article written by Game Informer and an article from PC Games N are linked in the description below. It's time for some news on the LambdaGeneration community platform. A new update was released last night that added another much requested feature to the site: video sharing. You could already share YouTube and streamable videos, but now you can upload videos natively to the site, as long as the file is under 100 megabytes and an MP4. Two new categories have also been added to the site. You can now post fan comics in the dedicated fan comic category and speedrunning content in the speedrunning category. A whopping 26 new reactions have been added too, and these were all provided by the community. Massive thanks to Bakonsu, Dancecard, Hickory, Narclaws, Radiation Hazard, and Valkyrie for providing the goods. Last but not least, some user interfaces have been improved and a great many bugs have been fixed to better the experience. For example, we now have little arrows when navigating a multi-image post so you can quickly and easily flick between images. Good stuff. Oh, and we also reached over 1,500 users. More good stuff. And if you want even more good stuff, LambdaGeneration's founder and current team lead Alex has sat down with James Thruton from gaming news site The Gamer to talk about the LambdaGeneration platform and everything surrounding it. It's worth a read if you're interested in it. A link to the official changelog and the Gamer article are in the description below. It's time for our favorite purple dragon to roast some more scientists without any good reason again. And this time it's exclusive to our YouTube channel. That's right, the mod's creator Magic Nipples graciously gave us an exclusive bit of Half-Life Year of the Dragon gameplay to put up. This gameplay video continues on from where we left off from the previous gameplay video on the office complex bowels of the Black Mesa facility. Here you can see all of the modifications made to GoldSource/Zash to make the mod feel a bit more modern without losing its 1998 edge. Not only has there been graphical upgrades, but the layout of the levels changed slightly to entirely to accommodate Spyro's oh-so-different moveset. You know, he isn't quite walking on two legs, as you can probably tell, and he got wings. You can't just have a winged main character in your mod and not give them the ability and incentive to fly, right? All of this gameplay can be watched over on this YouTube channel, and there is a card in the top right of the screen right now that'll bring you directly to it. Would you rather wait and watch the rest of this wonderful episode of All Things Lambda? Well, then you can always click on the link in the description below. Arrowhead, the Half-Life 2 mod that takes place during the first days of the Zen Flora infestation and before the Combine's arrival, has gotten something brand new that you can check out right now, and that's an all-new website. On this website, you'll be able to read a short synopsis about the game, see some in-game screenshots and other media, check news on the mod, and see some frequently asked questions. Further down the page, you can even see exactly who's working on the mod, and a lot of names here look quite familiar because some of them have been working on Borealyph in the past before that team dissolved. All the way at the bottom, you also got an Apply Now button in case you want to help the development of Arrowhead along with any talent that you may have and join a loving and inclusive team that's all about developing something fun. You can check the Google Doc linked there for any available positions. If there are none for the thing you want to help them with, you can always wait a little. Maybe that job will become available later. I left a link to Arrowhead's new website in the description below for you to check out. Any new news article published by the team will no doubt be put up there. The last thing I want to talk about this week is Half-Life Loop. The isometric twin-stick shooter roguelite, based on the original Half-Life, has a new build available over on the project's Patreon page that adds a relatively important element to the game: a HUD. At first glance, the HUD actually has more in common with the HUD from Half-Life 2, but it uses a lot of iconography from the first Half-Life, as you can tell from the weapon icons used in the weapon wheel. It looks really clean, and after actually having played this build, it works quite nicely as well. I'm especially a fan of the weapon wheel. You can use it to quickly and easily switch between weapons. I do wonder how it's going to work if more weapons get added though. Will there be classes of weapons like in Half-Life, or will everything just align directly around the wheel? I guess we'll see at some point. Some more interesting stuff has been added too in this build, like sounds and barnacles. If you want to experience all of that stuff yourself, then you gotta donate to Pinky's Patreon page, which is linked in the description below. You'll get regular development updates on there as well. I also put a link in the description below to the actual update video, which is also very fun to watch if you want to. You know where else you can get regular updates? On our social media pages. You know the drill at this point. Twitter, Facebook, and a link to our Discord server are all down in the description below, as well as a link to join our community platform where you can share anything Half-Life related to your heart's content. A link to my Twitter and YouTube are also down there in case you're wondering what I'm up to at the moment. I post pretty epic stuff sometimes, so it might be worth following me. Please do it. And with all that being said, I'm going to end episode 152 of All Things Lambda. Don't be sad though, because we'll be back next week with another episode. In the meantime though, don't forget to subscribe and to ring that bell icon so you'll never miss another episode. Salutations, and take care.